Hello, everyone. This is Talk Time with Cynthia. I'm coming today. First of all, I want to say I got my bird over here. I don't want to put him in the. I usually put him in the garage whenever I get started, but I don't want to do that today. So I'm gonna kind of keep it on an even keel, and I do apologize for that. I do like to have a little bit more energy, but I don't want to have and put him in the garage because it's a little bit cold outside. So anyway. I'm coming in front of you guys today. I was reading an article which is very interesting, and it says it takes a village to raise a child, or at the least to transport one. And then it also say mothering in the motherland. So here go my doggy, my dog right here. She up here with me. Here she go. Look at her. Hey, mammy. No sugar today, baby. Say hey, look, Clappy, look. Say hey to YouTube. Say hey, YouTube. Hey, YouTube. Hey, YouTube. She's so nosy. She my little company. All right, I'm gonna let her go. Bye, mama. Bye. Anyway, you gonna sit down with me? By me? All right. So anyway, I'm going to read the article to you guys because I thought it was pretty interesting, and I just wanted to share, the difference, opposed to here in America and then in another country. It's Armenia. Armenia? I think that's how it's, with my southern accent. Armenia. So, yeah. So let me start reading. It says, you all know the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Where is the village? Every mother, especially in the United States, is faced with major decisions the second her child is born. Many times the choice is between a career or staying home full time. Then come vaccines, medication, nursing, bottle feeding, sleep training, daycare, preschool, public, private, parenting methods, college savings, you name it. At the end of the day, the responsibility belongs to the parent, the primary caregiver. And then it says, everything seems excessively difficult these days when it doesn't need to be. Society's expectations are beyond anything our parents even faced. The norms we trusted for decades are now all subject to revision. Excuse me. Up is down and left is right. What used to be a simple snack to introduce to our babies as finger foods for fine motor skills, Cheerios is now a compromised product to keep out of our pantries. At this point, it feels like the world is trying to make it harder than ever to become a confident parent. That's so true. Then it says, for instance, my nanny has been insisting on preparing every meal for my newborn with meats and produce locally bought and cooked fresh each and every single time he is fed. One day, I asked her to prep enough to last the following day, and she was offended that I would request such a thing. She couldn't understand how I would give him food prepared the day before. I decided not to tell her that my firstborn was fed store-bought baby food for the first year of his life, while I decided research organic options. Oh, sorry. While I did research organic options, at the end of the day, the jar of food was bought at a grocery store. As long as she's willing to do it, I'm willing to go along with it since I don't exactly have a lot of extra time on my hand. One time I caught her singing a song she always sing while changing the baby's diaper. My nanny is credited for teaching my firstborn son to speak Armenian and my secondborn to start talking about his first birthday. Amazing. And this is her, I guess her son. Oh no, is it either it's her son or her daughter, but we'll find out later on in the article. Then it says Avo, 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 my firstborn goes to a Manca parties that came highly recommended by a dear friend. His teachers are truly amazing. And that's to say a lot. You do have good teachers, but yeah, I couldn't help but remember the brief 2 weeks he attended a nursery in Dubai. Just before we moved, the teacher seemed to pay a little attention, mostly because she was overwhelmed with so many students. It was impossible to spend quality time with him. Most of the other employees felt like just that, employees. The moment I dropped him off at this Manca parties, I knew I had made the right decision. There go my bird, y'all. So he gonna be doing that. So I'm sorry, but I can't put him outside. So after the initial transition, he became very attached to his teacher. They would send photos once a week, and I noticed him sitting on her lap all the time. Sitting on her lap all the time, content with his new surroundings. He has now fully adjusted, making friends and verbalizing his thought process. Okay, but I'll never forget the time I had to fly from Armenia through Paris to Washington, D.C., along with 2 kids. Although was almost 3 years old, and let me see if I can say her other child's name. Haggard was 6 months old. Everything started off just fine. I thought everything started off just fine. I thought, although I taught Avo, this is getting to be ridiculous. Y'all give me a second, and so I can figure out what to do with the bird, and then I'll be right back. I do apologize. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I'm sorry for doing that to y'all. That's kind of rude, and I apologize, and I'm sorry. Very, 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 very sorry. So, but what was I on my thing here? Okay, then it says, I taught Avo to hold on to my baby carrier straps hanging off my hip so that, okay, it's a boy, he wouldn't wander off. Haggard was on my chest in the carrier staring at the new sights around him. So she got two boys. We managed to pass through security and customs, excuse me, mostly with courtesy and smiles from everyone around us. The line at customs was long. So an employee immediately pulled me aside and allowed me to cut to the front of the line. That was very polite. When we finally made it to our terminal, we sat down for apple juice and a quick breakfast. Next thing I knew, our flight was called for initial boarding. Meanwhile, Haggard started getting hungry for some milk. He was drinking formula, so I prepped his bottle and started feeding him, but the line was growing and I knew I have to fight for overhead baggage space, so I proceed to check in at the gate. I'm handling our passports and boarding passes, feeding Haggard, dragging the carry-on, and keeping my eyes on Avo, who may or may not throw a tantrum or wander off. Y'all remember that? I remember that. Even though mine were 5 years apart, I mean, I'm telling you, women are absolutely mothers are absolutely amazing because we can multitask like no other human being. Mothers can do it, okay? And we ain't leaving the fathers out, but I'm telling you, mothers can do it. So, as we are waiting to board the plane, an older woman and her daughter, clearly Armenian, noticed I had my hands full, so they grabbed my bag and Avo and asked me where we would be sitting. Before I knew it, Avo was out of my sight, and so was my bag, and yet I had no fear. I knew exactly where he was. When I got to our seats, there they were. Avo was a bit confused, but he was happy to see I finally joined them. He settled in and we were ready to go. So how many people would be comfortable with somebody taking some stranger in America, with some stranger taking your child out of sight and you can't see where they went? Not me. Not in America. Not me. I'm not trying to badmouth my country or nothing like that, but it's just, I don't know. I'm sure it's good people here that got good values and everything, but it's a lot go on here that make you feel a bit uneasy. If somebody grabbing your child and just taking over. But I thought that was I really liked that, and I thought that was amazing because as time go on, you'll see how everybody was just like so helpful, making you think back to, it takes a village to raise a child. And I mean, this article is just so amazing to me, and that's why I want to share it with you guys, because I want you guys to see, because you know, it make me feel like seeing people or somebody that need that little extra hand and being able to be that person to give that extra hand and just enjoy it, you know, enjoy being a good person. So yeah. So then it says, let me see. Then it says, then the stewardess approached the gentleman sitting next to me. She offered him a seat elsewhere so that I would have room to manage my two children. He apologized to me for appearing rude, but he took her up on the offer so that I would be more comfortable. Amazing. I was getting there. The messenger sitting in front of us was the passenger sitting in front of us was an older Armenian from France. She and her friends uh, clearly had a wonderful trip to their homeland and were on their way back to their diasporan, I guess I said that right, DASPORN, diasporan sanctuary. They uh, aborted both, no, they adored both my children, often mistaking them for girls. I was doing fine so far. Avo passed out for a couple hours. Hagop, Hagop was somewhat easy to manage at 6 months old. Fed, burp, sleep, repeat. But holding a baby for 5 hours can be tiring. At one point, Avo was greeting everyone on the plane. Then he found a playmate, a 6-year-old who kept giving him candy. That's interesting. With the candy, get that adrenaline going and get you hyper. So anyway, at some point during our flight, the Armenian women found from France turned around and said, "Why don't you give that baby to us? You take a break." I told them, "I'm doing okay. No need to exhaust themselves for me." Then they just grabbed him and said, "Listen, we've all raised kids. We know what to do. Take your break. You're going to need it." And so I did. Now, how many people have a problem with somebody you don't know grabbing your kids, no matter how nice they look? Because you don't listen. I just feel like when you don't know a person, you don't be grabbing my kid. But I mean, this to me, this is just so amazing. You know, I know I keep saying the same thing, but it takes a village to raise a child. Then it says the plane was literally a village. Everyone rallied around us and ensured our comfort until we landed. The flight from Paris to DC was impressive as well, with hors d'oeuvres, ADARS, hors d'oeuvres, offering to help. But no matter how genuine that one woman seemed, I just didn't feel right asking her to hold my baby. Not because I didn't trust her, I just felt guilty placing the responsibility on an hors d'oeuvre because I've been conditioned to believe it's an inconvenience for them. whereas Armenians consider it a cherished responsibility. I guess that's the difference between the village and the light thereof. So I agree. I remember a friend of mine's raising her boys, and the father wasn't around, but she came to the people that she knew loved her kids, and she said, if you see my boys doing anything, it's okay to get on to them and get them back in line because I need help with my boys. And I just admired her so much, knowing her need and reaching out to her people who she trusted, who loved her, and say, hey, help me out. And I think that's what a lot of us should do, and our kids to be better for it, especially when you widow parent, like I'm a widow parent, and a single parent, just trying to do it, whether man or woman, trying to do it on your own. Ask for help. Ask for help. Because, your kids turns out better, especially when it's the right people. Make sure it's the right people, but you ask for help. The most I did was ask a young gentleman behind me to watch Hagar as he slept in the bassinet while I ran to the bathroom. He did, and everything was fine. There's no question the trip was taxing. Ava was a champion until he fell asleep at the end and cried his head off when I woke him up to exit the plane and going find his Ms. Mama and Ms. Baba, which I don't know what that is. I'm sure that's Armenian, but hey. And then it says he was hysterically crying from the second we got off the plane until we met with my parents. When people tried to cheer him up, he cried more. I even offered him chocolate. He looked at me as if to say, woman, some things even chocolate can't fix. But what chocolate can't fix, clearly the sight of his grandparents can. The moment he saw them, tears turned into smiles. As for me, I was barely standing, clearly exhausted, but incredibly grateful for the generosity of strangers. The village. All right. Okay, our time is kind of almost running out, so let me go ahead and finish this up and make my last statements. So then it says, now back in Armenia, I find that every day proves me right. I have a crew of people I trust and pay not just to watch my children or prevent them from suffocating, let's say, but they actually care enough to teach them different languages, important life skills, and above all, how to be kind. The people in this circle of trusted true of trust love my children. Let me read that. People in this circle of trust love my children like they are their own. But it's the village of strangers around us that have proven themselves to be equally helpful. They don't shy away from playing with my children, and I don't fear them either. The respect for children in this country sets everything else straight. My children are growing up overwhelmed. My children are growing up overwhelmed by such positive vibes that I am so eager to see the amazing men they become, just based on the warmth they encountered every step of the way. An amazing article. So my view on that is If somebody offers to help you and you feel like that you truly trust them, allow them to help. Don't feel like that you have to take the whole load on by yourself, because that's how I felt becoming a widow at the age of 35 and raising them kids by myself, and I didn't ask nobody for help. I did everything on my own. It was stressful, it was overwhelming, and in some ways, my not abuse or nothing like that, but in some ways my kids suffer for it, because had I reached out and say, hey, I'm overwhelmed, I need help at this moment, can somebody please help me, then I feel like me and the kids would have been better for it. So take every opportunity to get help when you need help with your children, because like it says, it takes a village to raise a children. It takes a village. So, but yeah, and you have that innate, that not innate, but you have that inner thing in you that let you know when you can't trust somebody with your kids, and you got to be sensitive to that also. So, but I just want to share that article with you guys because I really enjoyed it. So I felt like you guys would enjoy it too. So, but and I enjoyed talking to you guys, and I love you so much. I just love y'all so much, and I enjoy coming in you guys' presence and just sharing my heart to your heart. So, but and I'm gonna go ahead on and sign off because I'm kind of tired today, and I've been a bit busy. So, but anyway, like I said, this is Talk Time with Cynthia, and don't forget to subscribe and to like my channel and give me thumbs up if you like what I'm doing. If you don't, and you decide to give me a thumbs down, let me know why, and maybe I can improve upon my channel. I don't know unless you let me know, okay? And so, and share my video with your friends, your family and friends, okay? I love you guys so much. I talk to you later. Bye.